Hello, this is Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Shopping for a garage, portable building, cabin? We build them anywhere from 8 to 16 foot wide, 10 feet to 60 feet long. We can do insulation, electricity, transom dormers, thermal windows. Come, let's customize a building together. Rick Vossen, Stormore portable building dealer, Panama City.
What's that grin about?
I just took a load off my staff by hiring Fresh Start Cleaning Services.
How'd you manage that?
Fresh Start Cleaning Services allows our team to leave at the end of their shift and not have to stay and clean after a double. They're happy, and you should see the difference having a professional cleaner makes. Plus, now I know exactly how much the cleaning cost will be for the year.
Wow, that would make anyone smile.
You can call Fresh Start Cleaning Services at 850-771-6057.
If you think dangerous blood clots can't happen to you, think again. Up to 900,000 men, women, and children are affected by blood clots each year, and about 100,000 die from them. Blood clots don't discriminate. You or a loved one could be at risk right now. The good news is blood clots can be prevented. Knowing the risks and symptoms are key. Major risks for blood clots include a family or personal history of blood clots, a recent hospitalization or surgery, pregnancy and cancer and its treatments. Symptoms of a blood clot in the legs or arms can include pain, swelling, and skin that is warm to the touch, red or discolored. Symptoms of blood clots in the lungs include difficulty breathing, chest pain that worsens with a deep breath, or a cough, coughing up blood, and a faster than normal or irregular heartbeat. Speak with a doctor about your risk for blood clots and seek medical attention if you have any symptoms. On average, one person in the United States dies of a blood clot every 6 minutes. Don't let that be you or someone you know. Stop the clot. Spread the word. Learn more at stoptheclot.org/spread the word.
Hey, is that a faucet running?
Nope, that's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest.
It is?
Yeah, forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. The water comes straight from the forest to us. In fact...
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
How do trees clean the air?
They soak up the dirty air on their leaves, branches, and trunks, which means clean air for us.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yep, but the forest does more than give us clean air and water. It gives us shade for hot days, birds to listen to, and trees to climb.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know how cool the forest could be. Hey, let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
WTOT W271DM Mariana, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida. Welcome to the house. It's time for the Afternoon Underdogs.
It's happening.
Wow.
It's on right now.
Opinionated and unfiltered. The hot takes, the rants, and the sports talk you crave.
Give it to me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's going on, Northwest Florida? You are now tuned in to the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We're on 104.3 right here in Panama City and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, and we are the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm your host, David Hayes, along with the great assistant general manager out there at Dave & Buster's in Pier Park, Amanda Muller. The Gormanator, Drew Gorman, shall be joining us shortly. And we've got James Fife. One of my favorite days of the week is Thursdays because we've got James Fife with us on the ones and the twos. A nice little wave there and a beautiful background of the Atlanta Braves, who finally got another W and did not get swept by the Oakland A's, as we mentioned yesterday. While we were at Dave & Buster's, the Braves got a win. Big weekend, lots of traffic out there in the Pier Park, Frank Brown area, getting ready for Gulf Coast Jams. Has it already kicked off yet?
It did, yeah. The first concert series, I think, was at 2:30 today. It was last year's the winner for the little competition they had.
2:30.
Yeah,
John
so
Boy
2:30.
Story.
Yeah, and he was at Tootsie's last night, or Miss Newbie's, I believe, one of them. But if you're in traffic, maybe we can get like Drew to give us a traffic update, but just...
he gave me one about 20 minutes ago, said it might be a while before I'm there, bro.
I know it's tough and it happens every year. Locals, I think it hurts the most, but if you're listening and you're a tourist and you're here to visit, like, try to have some patience. Everyone will get there.
June 23rd was backed up. And it's
I know.
near the beach.
It's bad everywhere. And that's what I was telling David right before we started. I was over at Dave & Buster's today, just talking to tables. I like to see where everyone's from. And I'm like, hey, so how many of you guys are here for the concerts? And they're like, what concerts? I was like, okay, so there's going to be some traffic. Let's go over the itinerary. And like, there's just so many people that come for so many reasons that this wasn't even on their radar. And I was like, so... there's a huge concert series going on. And they're like, oh, who's playing? I'm like, so it's 4 days.
It's 4 days long. Just, some known names. Miranda Lambert, Kenny Chesney.
I'm throwing out names, and I can see her, like, looking at her husband, like, give me tickets. So you might get lucky. You never know. But, it's always easier after the first night because when they come back into Dave & Buster's, they're wearing the bands.
Yeah.
So I know, I'm like, okay, who can I talk to about the concerts and who shouldn't I talk to?
Yeah, right. Don't make anyone salty at that point.
Right. Like,
you
didn't
enough
get a
sodium in the food. Dude, and I'm looking at this is the first time I'm actually looking at the whole entire lineup, but you're going to have Justin Moore tomorrow, who just dropped an album not too long ago.
Chase
Bailey
Rice
Zimmerman.
on Saturday.
Yeah, Bailey Zimmerman just dropped his album as well. So a lot of great music. Kane Brown's going to be wrapping it up for everyone on Sunday at 8:15. But, Morgan Wallen was supposed to be here and got replaced by Kenny Chesney. And I think that's going to be such a great show. A lot of people who might have sold their tickets because of the change, they might be looking on Facebook or social media later and be like, man, I really wish I was there.
So, and again, in the rumor mill, because you've got to just take everything into consideration, they got Kenny Chesney so quickly because he's on tour close to here.
Orange Beach
So
area.
the rumor mill is saying that it's not going to be just Kenny Chesney, but he's going to bring his tour partner, Kelsey Ballerini, with him.
Well, then there you go.
So you never know. You could get a special guest. If not, it's still a great show, but like, cool, might happen. Never know.
Well, you might be wondering why we're clamoring this up, not just giving a traffic update. We do have 2 tickets to Gulf Coast Jam, and since it's already going on, I'm going to give you guys until we're out of here today to come get them. And here's how this is going to play out. We're going to play a little game that I'm sure most of you have heard called Name That Tune. We're going to play 5 seconds of this particular song, and you call the first person to call in and tell us what the name of that song was. You just come over here to the studio, pick up your tickets, and head directly over there to Gulf Coast Jam because it's going on right now. Would love for someone to win this and have a great weekend because of it. We've got 2 wristbands. They're general admission. It's for all 4 days, and we'll show you how to register and all of that good stuff. James, light them up.
I woke up on the wrong side of the truck bed this morning with a bone.
And that'll do it right there. 850. That's actually my favorite song by this particular artist. Well, I don't know. He's got so many of them. He's got so many of them, especially, now with his new album. But that's neither here nor there. 850-215-6290 is the number to call. And the first caller.
Both song name and artist.
I would like, song name and artist. Definitely song name and artist. But we'll see. If we get to hour number 2 and we don't have a winner by then, there's no way. We're talking about Gulf Coast Jam right now. And we're talking about a big-time artist tonight, Miranda Lambert tomorrow night, Kenny Chesney, Kane Brown on Sunday, and a litany of other musicians and artists along the way. And a lot of great food tents and stuff. Actually, I got to be honest, I've never been to Gulf Coast Jam before.
Way. So, they've got a great setup there. Jim Beam is a sponsor. They've got cornhole tournaments going on. They've got like a whole bunch of different photo ops you can go to. If you're a military or first responder, there's like a whole military tent that you have to have your ID to get into. So that's great. And it's such a good time. It's like, it really is an event for everybody. Kids under 6 get in free. So if you have your small people with you, they can still get in and have a good time.
Yeah, man, that is great stuff. So 850-215-6290. We're looking for, and when you know what, just call us if we're even talking about it, and we'll replay the song for you. We'll give you 5 to 7 seconds of the song, and you just tell us what the name of the song is and who the artist is. All right, a lot going on, so let's get a winner for our Gulf Coast Jam tickets. This is probably not a big headline to most, but for me, this guy was a Tennessee Titans for a long long time, and normally you don't talk about punters retiring. I'd rather talk. A lot of people would rather talk about Tom Brady. Is he or is he not coming back? But Brett Kern played for the Titans for a long time. I believe last year was with the Philadelphia Eagles, and his time is coming to an end, retiring after 15 years in the league. It is, man. So maybe Brett Kern, there's not many punters or kickers for that matter who have came out and did what Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
I think the next guy to do that is going to be Justin Tucker, because that guy is always giving great interviews. He's funny. I think Justin Tucker could get to that Pat McAfee landscape, if you will. But Brett Kern, I mean, like you said, 15 years in the league is just absolutely insane. How was the traffic out there? Give us a traffic update, a realistic live traffic update from Drew Gorman here.
God awful. It was terrible. Like, just...
He texted me his traffic update, but I can't say it.
Yes.
It was not good.
Right after you had said, I wish he could call in, I was in the middle of texting you that.
Yeah.
I was at a red light.
He was at a red light. There you go.
Yes.
Cover your tracks
Don't text
there, man.
and drive.
Do not. Man, I'd say that's a pet peeve of mine, especially when I get around that person. And they're still on their phone. I'm like, man, can we just have a little common decency? And, I'm not asking you to speed or anything. Drive the speed limit. Go with the flow of traffic. And there we go.
The manager I was working with today, Ryan, he was telling me a story about this morning. Like in the morning and night times, you get some of those really short arrows, and he was trying to get out of his condo complex, and there's a cop behind him, and the guy in front of him missed the whole arrow, and I'm like, did you lay on your horn? He's like, courtesy, you gotta wait a little bit. But then the next arrow comes around because he missed the whole first one, and he didn't go, and he laid on his horn, and the guy took it on the yellow, and he said that, the cop behind him, he could just see him in the rear view, just give a little chuckle, went around him and lit him up, and I was like, good, because it clearly wasn't paying attention, but...
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, I'm coming from 30A, coming all the way down to Thomas Drive down here on the beach, and sitting there just driving, having a good old time, listening to...
Don't you name that tune.
Yeah, do not name that tune.
No, but
okay. Are
you thinking of my name right now?
No, it was before. Your name is David.
Okay.
Canty and Carlin. I was listening to Canty and Carlin, just kind of hanging out, listening to them, and then all of a sudden I start seeing brake lights. I'm like, okay, well, traffic's bad. Okay, whatever. I can skirt around it. Next thing you know, I see a flock of people just walking on the side of the street, and everybody's in cowboy boots. Got girls.
That's the funniest thing to be about country concerts.
Yeah,
is
the attire.
I just see everybody. There's like loads of people just walking down the side of the street, down through.
You had forgot that it was Gulf Coast Jam
and
Day?
I'm just sitting there just driving, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I get to Frank Brown, and it is loaded. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, I'm a dummy. Okay.
Did you hear the first part of this segment?
Oh yeah.
Dave and Buster said nobody knows what's going on. I was like, I don't know how that happens, but it really does. Even he forgot about it.
I was ready to call in with my answer because I know the answer, but
you don't get to go on.
I just want the tickets.
Well, if
nobody else
what
calls,
we'll do is we'll do a donation bidding war, and I'm being so facetious right now, but no, I don't know what's going to happen to the tickets. Well, I guess we'll just give them away tomorrow, or figure out a way to give them away tomorrow. But 850-215-6290, you just got to name that tune to win yourself 2 tickets, general admission to Gulf Coast Jam. What are we thinking about Joe Mazzulla returning as the Celtics coach? Brad Stevens has got to be pretty calculated with the next move that he makes. I guess I'm not. Look, if you got to the conference finals with this guy, obviously it's a great roster, but if you got to the conference finals, we're talking about a young head coach. We saw what Spoelstra was able to do after kind of his first year. They didn't get to the pinnacle or to the peak in the first year of Spoelstra, but if Brad Stevens believes in it, then who are we? Or who, I'm not a Celtics fan, so that's kind of neither here nor there, but I'm okay with Mazzulla getting another year. I'm really curious as to how Celtics fans feel about that. But Drew, what's your take?
We had spoken a little bit on it yesterday about during Would You Rather be the Celtics or be the Lakers. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember exactly who said it, but they basically hit the nail on the head, in my opinion, where whenever it comes down to, as the Celtics, they were able to, once they fought back, it kind of fix the holes, and they're not really they're gonna be like, oh well, we were almost there, we're not gonna have to fix, so we were so close, we don't have to fix that much, we can only add one person, we only need to change one thing. Whereas the Lakers are retooling looking at everything, looking at every nook and cranny per se. So I think that was a big reason on why he kept his job, because if they go down 4-0, I think that interim title is gone, and he's gone.
Yeah.
But with them fighting back, I like it because it showed that they have fight, but he's got to show a lot more this coming year. Got to show a lot more.
Take a little initiative, maybe, I don't know if assertive is the right word there, because you're dealing with grown men who are making a lot of money. So
they have a lot of talent. They know it.
And towards the end of the game, it was like there were 2 out of the 3 out of 7 games you could physically watch them, and they just looked defeated before the game was even over.
Yeah.
Middle of the third quarter, they're just done. And to me, that's coaching. You've got to get those guys ready to go for the whole game. You can't just say, okay, yeah, we put out a bad first half, let's shut it down. You've got to have those guys going.
Yeah, the ability to motivate your team has got to be up there on a resume for a good coach. You know, the mental game is so tough to get past. I mean, even I ran track, and it's not an individual sport, but it is at the same time.
Is it a sport?
Yes,
no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But, like, you know, my coach being able to be like, okay, you had one bad race. I get it. There's 2 more. Let's go. If you don't have someone pumping you up, like, it's so hard to get past that, like, man, I'm not doing my best today. So I agree.
And especially when you get to the professional level where these guys are making more money than their coach, a lot more money than what their coach is. It's almost like they've got to be, they wear so many hats. So the ones I'm going to list off is still not all of the hats that they wear, but choreographer, therapist, motivational speaker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to be all of those things and then still not cross that line to tick the players off to an extent where they go to the front office, because your head's going to roll more than likely before theirs does. So that is interesting.
It's a tough position to be in.
Head coaching in general, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to the youth coaches, to the middle school coaches, the high school coaches. I mean, they're dealing with a lot as well.
Plus
parents, which, man, so I'm sitting here thinking like, well, maybe it's actually tougher to, not even maybe, but you know what I mean? I'm trying to ride the fence line right now, because you got divas and egos at the professional level, but then also not only the kids, but like you said, some of those helicopter parents, if you will, in the world of sports, just you're the parent. It's your, prerogative to do however you want to do for your kid. But as far as for the coaches who's coaching, like, you got to cut them some slack, man. They're investing into your kid's life. So
same was like when we talked about the umpires a few weeks back. Like, they have got so much going on, and then you've got parents heckling them, and it's like, I think you said it too. Like, I think punishment, if you're a parent, going after the umpires, that you now have to ump 2 games.
There's actually there's actually a league that does that. I'm sure that there's
fantastic.
multiple, but I've heard of that before. In fact, I know for a while at Oakland Terrace, it was like that, where if you got ejected as a softball player or whatever, you would have to in order to play again, you would have to serve like a 1-game suspension or something like that, depending on the severity of the offense you committed or whatever. But then you would also have to umpire 2 games. So, and man, even at slow pitch softball, you'd think, like you called it yesterday, beer league softball, you would think, like, first, umpiring isn't hard. Like, not trying to say that it isn't. You would think, it's not hard. And who's going to argue calls? Who's going to argue calls at slow pitch softball with nothing really on the line? Yeah. And that's I'll just keep it blunt, because it happened. My fiance got ejected from a game arguing as a fan, and I was just like, come on, like, you're not on the field right now.
Props to her.
No, not necessarily, but she just gets into it, man. You know what I mean? And it's like,
was she defending you?
Yes, it was to an extent. It was one of the. I think it was like defending the whole team, like.
Okay.
But it was just one of those things. Like, babe, like you're not on the field. I'm over here with my mouth shut. Just just sit there and watch.
Like
Thanks for keeping our book.
Squirt bottle like it's a kitten and just like stop.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys actually worked as a ref or an umpire?
I have done a couple of softball games, and it was really just exhibition games. So never as like in an official
setting where it matters.
capacity. Yeah. But I did like a college showcase with Thomas Gaitis. So
I did. I was a hockey ref for 12, 15 years.
Oh, much respect on the skates.
And on the skates, on ice, and roller. I did a couple of small college tournaments, things like that. I was a level 2, so it allowed me to referee all the way up to college hockey if I wanted to. And
nice.
Oh yeah, they'll yell at you. I don't mind the players because that's part of the culture in hockey. The refs, the players, you're all chirping at each other. That never really bothered me. It was always the parents though, because all these parents, especially where I was in Kentucky, you don't know what you're doing. It's like, really? You
go play some bluegrass. Oh man, I bet it's wild though, man. And at what age group were you doing when you were umpiring?
I've done all the way from 5 years old to adult.
So when it comes to the players, was there a line, like if they're 12, 13, like, all right, we're not going to have any chirping today? Or or were some of those 12, 13
or do you encourage it because it's hockey?
Yeah.
The kids try, and you kind of giggle at them.
It's like,
usually they're trying to be funny or trying to get under your nerves, and you've already heard it before. You've heard it from people way more experienced than them.
Yeah.
So it was always kind of for me like, that's cute, kid. Go sit down now. That's 2 minutes. That's cute.
That is great. 850-215-6290. We're still looking for a winner to win 2 general admission tickets to Gulf Coast Jam. A lot of people out there selling them for, good little portion of a good chunk of change, if you will. You can win them right now.
Yeah, you think
Caveman Rick.
How's he doing?
Just constantly hate. He says, I hope it rains all weekend.
And actually, Caveman, give it to me because over at Dave & Buster's, I will keep you dry. I will keep you entertained. I will keep you fed.
You guys, I've definitely noticed within the last 2 days, school's out, the vacationers are settling in.
It's like a light switch.
It took 45 minutes to get to Dave & Buster's from here yesterday. All of our remotes so far has taken like max. The longest one I've had is 30 minutes worth to stop to get gas.
Yeah.
And you start to see that and it's like, man, and then you walk into Dave & Buster's and I think it helped a little bit that I haven't seen you guys slow, first off.
Yeah.
But then also whenever it's raining, people love to flock to a place like Dave & Buster's.
It's so much fun. And, we know we have a pretty good core staff that's been around. We have people that have been there since day one, which just ended up being 9 years. But a lot of us have been there for the past 5, since I started there. And we just know, like, even our international students, if it rains, don't even have to ask. Come in. We need you. We can go from, like, a day that we think it's kind of proprietary information with sales, but a normal day where we're planning so many thousands of dollars in sales, and it will double or triple if it rains. So it's just all hands on deck.
I'm going to start sitting outside you guys' door with like a little box and start charging covers to get into Dave & Buster's and get out of there quick.
I don't see you. We've had to have on rain days. We've got a building count because we got to make sure we stay under the max count.
Yeah, the occupancy.
It's so many different things you have to handle randomly. So I'll put my referee shirt on and ref that. I could use a ref over at Dave & Buster's.
I've been trying to be a video game ref.
We're going to do it as soon as probably it slows down a little bit. We're going to get you guys out there in ref shirts, and we're going to have some competitions. During football games is always a good one. Like Saturdays, we can have you out there and ref some games for us.
There we go. Right Stay Chris says my company is a sponsor and he gets offered tickets every year and he declines. Again, I haven't been yet, but might try to get out there one of these days.
Next time, don't decline. I'll take your tickets with it.
Yeah, no doubt. Get the tickets and give them away, man. You can have your own giveaway.
Of me.
All right, we still got 2 tickets to Gulf Coast. No, I'm not saying Chris is a hater, Caveman Rick. I'm saying you are. I'm saying you're a hater, Caveman Rick, and I love you to death. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We still got 2 tickets to Gulf Coast Jam to give away, but we've got Alan Watson who's going to be on the line with us coming up in this very next segment. Keep it locked into ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
There was a crazy wreck where a tire got knocked off one of the driver's cars and flew up, and it looked like it was going into the crowd, and it ended up just having to go in between two sections of the grandstands, which thank goodness, because that would have been nuts if somebody obviously probably would have killed somebody.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Thursday. A chance of thunderstorms and light showers the rest of the day with a gentle breeze coming out of the east-northeast around 11 miles per hour and temps near 79. We will have some clouds and a chance of thunderstorms tonight and be warm at 70. And mostly sunny tomorrow and a high 85. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. The SUV family has movement that inspires, and we invite you to test drive the new 2023 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. You can command the road in a sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Drive away today in a new 2023 Rio, Forte, K5, or Stinger, and discover the all-new Kia at Bill Bird Kia. 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.com. Peace of mind you can trust at your local community dealer, Bill Bird Kia.
Chuck was terrible at fishing. He spent many frustrating hours attempting to get results he saw from internet videos, aggravating trial and error fishing trips, and misguided advice from well-intended friends. Chuck is happy now with his newfound success after he visited Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, where we keep fishing fun, simple, and successful. See us soon at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
Hometown Sports Talk from hometown hosts.
People are loving it.
We're live and local. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
Are you kidding me?
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. We're going to take a quick little hiatus here on the Gulf Coast Jam tickets because we've got the owner of Golf Plus on the line with us. I'm talking about Alan Watson. Alan, what's going on, my friend?
Just driving between stores right now. Worked in the Panama City store this morning until about 2-ish, and then now I'm heading back to Dothan.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you have a safe trip back there to Dothan. What do you make of Rory? You know, Rory McIlroy came out again and says that said that Brooks Koepka is the only LIV player that should be allowed in the Ryder Cup. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree. I think that the Ryder Cup should be about the best players in the world to represent every country. And it really shouldn't have anything to do with affiliations. Obviously, up until now, we really didn't have this type of debate. But I think he's a proven winner. I mean, he just won another major. Why would you not want him on the team when the team is not about tours per se? It's about where you're from, the country and all. So I totally agree. And I think it's interesting because Jack Nicklaus came out this week and kind of said, well, I sent a letter and congratulated Brooks for winning, but then at the same time he also said, I don't really consider any of these guys on the LIV Tour to really be legitimate players in the world. It's like he doesn't really respect or recognize them anymore. They're not really part of the tour as far as he's concerned, or part of the world of golf. So, yeah, you still got some mixed emotions and some weird stuff going out here with some of these big name guys,
Yeah, absolutely. And I had that question for down the road, and love that you just touched on that there. Does it have more weight that Jack Nicklaus is saying that?
It doesn't carry as much weight as it would have several years ago. Mm-hmm. Not to take anything away from Jack. He is the GOAT. He will be the GOAT for years for a lot of people. I mean, obviously there's the Tiger debate and the Jack debate, but if we're just going to go off record alone and all that, Jack is still probably the greatest. So, there's some weight there just because of who he is, but at the same time, he's not in any position to pull any strings or to, he doesn't have any stature with the tour in terms of decision making, right? I mean, he's just a public opinion person. He's a great ambassador for the game. But I mean, if tomorrow he was like, let's just cancel the women's tour and let's get rid of this and do that, none of it would change, right? I mean, that'd just be his opinion. So, I mean, he's great, but they're not making policy. They're not letting him make the decision. So it's just an opinion piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And then John Rahm kind of answering back to that says his opinion is that the best Europeans versus the best Americans, period. That's the right way to look at it? Well, let me say this. I agree with the way that I agree with his perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, the best, and let's not really worry about affiliations and all that sort of stuff. The fans want to see great golf, and the golfers want to compete against people. So that's really what it should come down to.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about maybe some products that you're loving at Golf Plus right now.
Really been hot on putters lately. Just a lot of putters flying out the door. And one of the ones that I really kind of looked at today, took a little closer look at, is the Odyssey, the White Hot OG, and the Tri Hot line. They've got this White Hot insert, which is something that was from like 10, 12 years ago. They brought that insert back because it was the number one selling insert of all time, and it was the one that all the tour guys. So that a lot of people are really, it's kind of like old is new again. So that's been good. And then also with the putters, and of course the Odyssey has what they call their Stroke Lab, which is a little bit of steel, but mostly shafted, so it gives it a counterbalance feel and a little bit softer feel at impact as well. And you're seeing that all over the tour, where you're seeing those red graphite shafts on some of the putters. So I'm definitely into that. In fact, I even just put a graphite shaft into my putter recently from Fujikura. So I think that's definitely a trend that we're starting to see, and something that people are always looking for something better way to make, like, even just one or two more putts around. That's always the thing. It's like, man, if I could have just two more putts and I would have broke 80, or three more. If I hadn't three putted a couple of times, I would have broken 90, right? So people are always looking for that little bit of advantage when it comes to on the greens.
Yeah, mine is 10 less putts, and I might have broke 100.
It's still way better than I can do.
Hey, well,
maybe. I don't know. I've never tried. I've never tried.
You would have played. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just someday I'll get my inaugural actual golf game in, and I will report that number to you guys.
maybe we'll let her play best ball for our first round ever, though. That score will look a little bit better. Got a text in wanting me to ask you about your trip to Canada and some of the clubs that you found there.
Yeah, so we went to Vancouver several weeks back, and definitely we went into some really cool golf shops that were different, not the kind of stuff that you can see here in the States. And I definitely picked up, obviously I'm not used to buying golf clubs because I'm in the industry, and so I have access to whatever I want. But I found some Japanese stuff that I've been looking at for years called Itabori, and just amazing, absolutely gorgeous stuff. I'll have to bring it in the shop, or bring it into the studio sometime if I can ever figure out where the new studio is. I think they hid it from me. I don't think they want me coming in there.
We've been wanting you to come in for a while.
Randy keeps moving the studio on me. He's like, no, we're on the third floor of the Hyatt. I'm like, there's no Hyatt. Anyway,
it's like a scavenger hunt.
Exactly, but no, I'm just kidding. But I'll bring my clubs in. I do have some Itabori wedges and a putter that are just absolutely gorgeous, very interesting look, something that you've never seen on the American market. And so I actually spent my own money on golf clubs, which was weird. Like I said, having been in the industry as long as I have, it's just strange. But, those were I saw that. Obviously, we also saw some other high-end stuff that are things that you just don't see. I mean, I saw one set of clubs, I think it was like $80,000, for one set. And it was in a glass case. And my wife was like, do you think the bag comes with it? And I'm like, yeah, I think for $80,000 you get the bag, too. I don't know.
I would hope so.
Some of these companies, yeah, well, for the market overseas, a lot of times they will put like gold on the golf clubs. They'll put gold in the ferrules. They will put all kinds of things in like actual gemstone quality and like jewelry quality materials into these golf clubs to, obviously it just raises the value. And so whereas with the American market, it's more of like utilitarian and everything looks cool, but it's maybe high tech, but they try to keep the prices somewhat reasonable. But there are other markets in the world where it's basically like just showing off to have certain clubs, and so they make this stuff that's just absolutely great, gorgeous. So really nice to see, not stuff we would ever sell in our market, not stuff we would ever bring in, of course, but definitely saw a wide variety of things in Canada, and actually got to play with some folks yesterday, and they were just like, whoa, what is up with this wedge? And so I got to tell them about him as well. So I like it, but it's just something unique for me. It's not something that we're going to ever carry because this stuff, I mean, some of the stuff's just outrageously priced. So anyway.
For those golf clubs, are they actually meant to be used? Or are they only meant to be like an art piece that you can hang on the wall and go, yeah, I paid thousands of dollars for that 9 iron?
Yeah, no, they're meant to be used. I mean, I'm going to be wrong when I say this as far as the dollar amount, but I want to say that when Trump was president, he went to Korea or Japan or somewhere, and they gifted him a set of the golf clubs from one company. Hanma makes a line called Perez that's really high end. I want to say the set they gave him was like $40,000 or $25,000, some outrageous amount of money. So enough money you could buy a car with it, right?
Man.
And they were just these gorgeous golf clubs. And it obviously was a gift, but yeah, I mean, you are meant to play with these things because that's the whole point, is to go out and kind of show off, like, look what I have kind of thing. Like, yes, you want to play your best, and yes, you want to have the best equipment in terms of for skill and for ability, but there's also an element of it of like wearing designer clothing or women having a designer handbag or jewelry or fancy sunglasses or whatever, right? So there's an element of just showing off as well.
So, Alan, have you heard about the story that's been going on? It happened a couple weeks ago, but it's just now coming out about it. J.B. Holmes.
I haven't heard what's going on with JB. What's up with him?
All right. So he, for people who don't know, he's a 5-time PGA Tour winner, most recently at the 2019 Genesis Open. He's a 41-year-old pro who has made more than $25 million in his career. Well, apparently 2 weeks ago in Franklin, Tennessee, which is just south of Nashville,
yep.
He decided that he was going to go and play in a tournament. But instead of, it's not a PGA Tour tournament, he was just going to play in just a scramble tournament at a Tennessee club 2 weeks ago, in which a nearly $30,000 Calcutta was up for grabs. The only problem in this whole situation, he entered under a cryptic name, his first and middle name, John Bradley. So he did not say what his name was. Never said what his handicap was. Mm-hmm. Never said that he was a pro. He just tried to go. It was a 2-day scramble team tournament.
Well,
so
he can afford that car. Oh, okay.
So he gets out there, plays, gets midway through his first round, and someone recognizes him. Well, then he gets disqualified.
Well, yeah. You're a golf pro trying to win a Cutlass.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's sad that he thought that he could get away with that. I mean, everybody, J.B. Holmes was a pretty dominant golfer several years back. Unfortunately, he did play during the late Tiger era, so obviously, you're a little overshadowed by that. But J.B. was a big hitter. He was a long hitter. He was a power golfer. And whenever he had his short game working too, in combination with that long game, he could be deadly, and that's why he did win several times on tour and make a lot of money. But to think that he could go, somewhere and not be recognized, and to try to take even $50 off somebody and not tell everybody, hey, I'm a PGA Tour professional or used to be, that's kind of sad. So I don't know, maybe he's just falling on hard times, or maybe he just did it as a joke and wanted to see if it would work. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but that is very interesting and kind of sad in a couple of ways.
Yeah, there's an article about it on golf.com that I just briefly skimmed through, but it's definitely an interesting read. And I just came across it. I was trying to find something to ask you, and I came across it just a minute ago, and I just started chuckling in my seat. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, if you were making a YouTube video and you were going to disguise yourself and you were going to go out and hustle people as part of a video series and be funny like some of these people do, some of these sports guys do, I could see that. But to go out and legitimately try to take advantage of people and not tell everybody who you are, assuming that that's what he was trying to do, then that would be sad. And I would hope that that's not the case. But yeah, that's really interesting. I'll have to check that article out.
You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We're on the line with the owner of Golf Plus, Alan Watson. Alan, I've been having this question on the list, or I had it on last week and didn't have the time to ask you about it. But for a new golfer, let's say a beginner golfer, maybe just got started, or we could even use myself in this case. But what would you recommend? What should be the order? What should you prioritize between lessons and getting your clubs fit?
Well, I think lessons, even though we don't offer lessons, and so this is not the best thing for my business to say this, but this is just the truth, is that I think everybody should go get lessons first, whether they're a day one beginner or whether they've been playing for 6 months or whether they've been playing for 6 years. Everybody needs to go get a lesson from time to time. I call it a check-in, right? You just need to go get a check-in or a checkup with a pro. Make sure your grip is good. Make sure your stance is good. Make sure you understand the ins and outs of how each different club works. Get some basic instruction so that you have some things to go think about when you're on the golf course. And then as you get better in the game and your swing is more consistent, then as you start to see which parts of your equipment are letting you down in terms of deficiencies or where you think you could be better, then it's time to come get fit. And we definitely see a ton of value in fitting. I fit a guy today who's only been playing since January. He had a very unorthodox-looking swing, but it was consistent. And so we did some fitting with him and got him some new shafts, and I think he's going to play a lot better. And he kind of had the same question. It was like, okay, Alan, now when do I come back to start fitting the rest of my equipment, knowing that I'm still kind of a beginner, even though he plays 5 or 6 times a week. He plays a lot, but he just... he's still kind of new to the game, but I think lessons is first. I even told him, I said, you need to go get lessons. The guy's like, I kind of like to learn on my own. I said, well, that's fine, but you're just going to make a lot of mistakes along the way if you want to learn on your own. A good teaching professional, go see Jay Henley over there at Bay Point, go see the guys at Legacy, go see somebody in the Panama City area if you're in that area, and get a couple of lessons. And then once you've had 1 or 2 lessons, then you can kind of play for a while and gauge, like, how often do I want to get lessons? Do I want to go once a year and just kind of check in? Do I need to go once a month? Like, what's kind of going to help me to improve? And I just think there's value in lessons. I mean, look, best players in the world have coaches. Mm-hmm. So if the best players in the world have coaches, then how much more do all the rest of us need a little help here and there?
What a fantastic answer, man. I wanted to ask you about how you feel about no cuts at designated events for 2024 being a possibility for the PGA Tour, but we're out of time for today. This segment always flies by way too fast. Alan, thanks so much for giving us some of your time, and look forward to next Thursday.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully I can find my way into the studio next week.
I would love that.
I want to
man.
see
That would
those
be
fancy
awesome.
clubs.
Yeah, bring the clubs. I'll bring the fancy clubs.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, guys, thank y'all so much.
Alan Watson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I don't have those.
Alan Watson, ladies and gentlemen. He's the owner of Golf Plus. He's on his way to the Golf Plus in Dothan, just right up, right north of us. They've got 2 great locations. They've got the state-of-the-art equipment to get you fit. They've got everything that you need to play around the golf, to swag yourself out. They've got everything. I haven't been to the one up there in Dothan, but I have been to the one 3 or 4 times now. To the one right there, shops at Edgewater. It's one of those stores. It's a lot like PCB Hobby. You go in there, and the next thing you know, it's like, man, I got to get out of here, man. It's just like you want to spend the rest of the day in there.
One of these days, we're going to have to all figure out a day that we can go there, and we'll just film all of ourselves on the little golf simulator, and we'll just put it on the Facebook page, because mine's going to be hilarious.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. She'll be like Charles Barkley, but maybe even worse. But his swing has definitely improved throughout the years. Amanda Muller, Drew Gorman, James Fife, I'm David Hayes. We're going to take a quick time out. When we get back, instead of doing trivia today, we're going to give away 2 tickets to Gulf Coast Jam. Get on the line, 850-215-6290.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
That changes this year. Go to Best of Bay. Make the Coach James Hale Show.
This is Coach O.
Hey! Oh, my God, Coach O. It's rigged.
I'm glad you won that thing,
All
man.
right. There you go, Coach.
No caller ID, no way of knowing.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Thursday. A chance of thunderstorms and light showers the rest of the day with a gentle breeze coming out of the east-northeast around 11 miles per hour and temps near 79. We will have some clouds and a chance of thunderstorms tonight and be warm at 70. And mostly sunny tomorrow and a high 85. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Want to stay healthy as you grow older? Well, open up and say, dental health can have an impact on your overall health. It's been shown that poor oral health can cause or complicate medical issues such as coronary heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. As you age, it's important to maintain good oral health through brushing, flossing, and visiting the dentist on a regular basis. Ameritas Dental is committed to helping you stay healthy through its individual dental insurance plan options, which is available to everyone, including those over the age of 65. With Ameritas, you can visit the dentist of your choice and be eligible for 100% coverage of basic benefits on day one. In most circumstances, Ameritas's plans provide competitive coverage on exams, cleanings, fillings, crowns, implants, dentures, and so much more. What are your dental needs? Call Michael Denniston, 850-271-4389 today to find out which plan fits best for you.
The mission?
Your mission, should you decide to accept it.
Save the panhandle from boring cookie-cutter radio. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
The state will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And you're back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes, along with Amanda Muller, Drew Gorman, dancing Drew Gorman, and James Fife playing some James Brown for us on the ones and the two. That is James Brown, right?
Rick James.
Rick James. I was about to say,
There's a James involved.
That's Rick James, man. Yeah, there you go. I was like, wait, hold on now. Oh, Coach Hale's going to be mad at me. Like, when you say something wrong, but then you're
that
like,
didn't feel right.
I could just roll with it, or we could just keep going back. But no, we've got someone on the line right now who's going to take a stab at winning 2 tickets to Gulf Coast Jam. We've got Jeff on the line with us.
Let's play the song for me.
Oh, yeah, play the line. Here we go, James.
What's going on, Dave?
Just give me 1 second.
Bed this morning with a bone dry bottle of Jack.
All right, what's the name of the song? Who's the artist?
I have no idea.
Well, then that'll do that. Thanks so much for the call, my friend.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, no doubt about it. That was Jeff. So we're still looking. You've got your opportunity. 850-215-6290. We're going to play 5 seconds of this song, and you've got to name the tune. Give me the artist and the title of the song. 850-215-6290. That's the only way you're going to win these suckers. So let's get them won so someone can go enjoy a little music tonight out there at Frank Brown. All right, let's ask Drew some questions about golf here. How long is your drive? No, I'm just kidding with you.
180.
We will play trivia here in the second hour, though, and we'll give away some swag and some good stuff to go along with that. But I'll wait till we've got a winner for our Gulf Coast Jam tickets to do that. We're going to have Chandler Permenter with us in the following segment with College Baseball Central. He's going to break down the regionals and all of that good stuff for us. And then at 5:20, we're going to go through and then make our picks from the knowledge that we've received.
So we had spoken about it last week a little bit whenever it came to having Jay Chapman on with us last week.
We're going to take a quick pause. We've got Russell. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Do we need to play? Do you need 5 more seconds of the song, or do you know it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, give me 5 seconds here, James.
I woke up on the wrong side of the truck bed this morning.
All right. What do you got for me, Russell?
Oh, crap. I'm sorry. I thought it was something else. My bad.
It's all good.
It's all good.
All right, man.
appreciate you
Hey, Russell,
trying.
thanks so much for the call, brother.
Oh, man.
All right, 850-215-6290. While we're waiting, it's back to Drew.
So we had talked about it a little bit with Jay Chapman, and James had asked the question if he had ever seen a left-handed catcher.
Yeah.
I was watching on my lunch break today the Tennessee-Alabama softball game. Tennessee has a left-handed catcher.
I was watching some of that during the inside drive this morning, but I don't remember. And I feel like that would have stood out to me.
It
How
is
did I
a
not catch that?
left-handed catcher.
What was this in the? Because I only got to see
I
like
was in
little
the
portions from
very
the first to
beginning.
the third. Yeah, so
Very
so it had to have
beginning.
been the same catcher.
And
Wow.
it was absolutely insane to watch. It was just like I'm sitting there in my boss's truck. We're out at the lake, and we're just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, "Is that a left-handed catcher?" And he looks up. He's like, "That's weird. They don't have left-handed catchers."
I think it's a little bit more prevalent in softball, though, because you don't have as far to throw. And that would be interesting, though, and I would love to hear from like a high school softball coach or something like that on how often, and I could text Coach Guidus right now, how often do you guys employ or deploy, rather, left-handed catchers? That would be very interesting. Let's go over to James, who's on the line riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Do you know the song, or do we need to hit you with 5 seconds of it?
I know the song, I think.
All right, let's hear it.
It's Truck Bed by Hardy.
Yes, sir, man. How far are you away from the studio?
I have no idea. I'm on Harrison right now.
You're on Harrison. Can you get over here to Panama City Beach pretty quick?
Sure.
All right, we're on Thomas Drive. Do me a favor, hang on the line. James is going to grab some information from you, and then we'll get those tickets to you as soon as you get here. Just get here before 6.
All right, I appreciate it.
That
All
way
right,
you can
man.
go see him live.
There you go. That is James, and you can go see Hardy tonight. That is one of my favorite songs.
It's a summer song.
It
man.
really is. I kind of, there's a little bit of a joke. My brother's working on the road, but at one of the times he was home was when this song came out.
Yeah.
And I ruined it for everyone because it was just like play that song, either repeat, play another song, and go right back to, you know what I mean? One of those, just like, I don't know what it was. It was just one of those days, and I ruined it in 24 hours for everyone else. But I still love it.
A country music thing, but it just feels like one of those like in the backyard fire pit, hanging out with people kind of.
Oh yeah, no doubt, and it's also with that song, he's got a little line in there. At least I took my boots off this time, which is a play on a song from one of his previous albums. And there's a little backstory to that. He had asked
Hardy,
his,
okay.
Well, actually, it's Taylor who knows a lot about Hardy, and then we'll talk about the things or whatever. And honestly, I think he's a really good songwriter, and that's what, because I really do love music, and so some of the stuff these days just doesn't do it for me, whereas if good music is one thing, like the actual music side of it, but if I'm understanding, if I'm seeing what you're talking about through your lyrics.
Yeah, a good storyteller is hard to beat.
And he's a great storyteller, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Morgan Wallen's got all the pop and everything like that, and and some good country stuff as well. And he's got some really good songs, but Hardy and Morgan Wallen, they work very closely together, I guess you could say. Right State Chris says 1989 was the last time that there was a left-handed catcher in the bigs. I'm going to shoot at James here real quick. Do you know who that was?
I don't know who it was, but I do understand why you don't use a lot of left-handed catchers, though, if you want my explanation.
Oh, in baseball, I get it. I was curious. I'm not curious at all about baseball, but go ahead and give me your explanation.
So my thought on it is you don't have the left-handed catcher. It's because the catcher's going to throw with his left hand, so your pop-up time is going to be slower because you got to come up, step to the side to get away from what is majorly a right-handed batter.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think the most overwhelming reason is it just looks weird. No,
you don't see it, man. It's like you're looking down and it's like, okay, what do I do? It's like when people play hockey.
Yeah.
And the guy's got the glove on the other hand when it's a goalie. People look at it and it's like, I need to shoot on the other side.
And that can get in the mental of the shooters at that point when, for hockey or whatever, because you're so used to the glove being on the left-hand side, and then all of a sudden a guy comes in right-handed. Does that affect, in your opinion, forwards in hockey?
It can.
Or goal scorers?
It never really bothered me because when I was growing up, we had a kid in the league that I was playing in that was left-handed. So I've seen it most of my life, seeing a guy out there with a right-handed trapper. So to me, it was just something I was just used to. You just had to look up and go, all right, which side do I need to go to? But a lot of people don't see it very often.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, again, you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. I guess we can go ahead and open up trivia real quick then. Play a little traffic jam in trivia. At which position did Dale Murphy make his Major League Baseball debut? At which position did Dale Murphy make his Major League Baseball debut? We're going to have $25 to not the, but that boot store, and a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock to go along with that. 850-215-6290. That boot store is some great stuff. We should have given away $25 to that boot store
with the tickets.
With the tickets, so people could have got their posing on and be like, "Oh, got my boots for the country concert."
Do they have like a little? Because I know they got like little.
I'm sure
little
they
shops out there.
I'm sure they do, man. Someone had asked me like, "Do you got a pair of boots?" I did used to have boots or whatever, but I don't wear them no more. The only boots I got is work boots.
I got boots. I wear them a lot, but I also use them on the farm.
Yeah, but you're more barefoot than you are anything, James.
Work boots for dudes are okay too. The work boots with jeans is good. Yeah, you're supporting.
If you wear them like on a regular basis, like it is what it is. Like I ain't got no problems with that, and I don't have a problem with those who go to a concert and want to wear them. Whatever. I just find it a little funny. It's like wearing skateboard shoes and not skating.
I definitely, I will not tell anyone what day I will be at Gulf Coast Jam because I pick the day every year that it rains. But my boots have come in handy every time.
Oh yeah, that's that is a good point.
Yeah,
to have those. Maybe get some waders for next year. You can stand out.
I think they make American flag ones, and that could be a thing.
That would be wild. If I saw someone with American flag waders, I would be like, and I don't ever go up and be like, let me take a picture with you or whatever. I would be like, let's take a picture for this. Let's put this one on the gram.
If they're not a thing, we might be able to make them a thing.
Go ahead, Drew. What you got?
So going back to left-handed catchers, because it just intrigues me really.
Mentally?
Yes. I don't know how credible this website is.
The LSU Tiger is a left-handed catcher.
waxpackgods.com. But they say there have been just 30 lefty catchers in the majors.
Wow.
Still more than left-handed third baseman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Jack Clements was by far the most prolific left-handed catcher, appearing in 1,076 games from 1884 through 1900.
1884.
And not
too long ago.
The most recent one was in 1989. He appeared in 3 games behind the plate for the Pittsburgh Pirates. His name was Benny DeStefano.
That's a cool name.
Benny DeStefano. I do like that name.
He moved from first base to catcher in the top of the 9th inning in a Pirates loss to the Braves at Three River Stadium on May 14th, 1989. Most recent lefty to squat in the majors was Mike Squires of the Chicago White Sox in 1980.
Squires is in the squat position now. So that's pretty interesting stuff there, Drew.
So if you're a lefty catcher, you could make some history.
Yeah, you really could. Good luck getting up there to the big leagues. You might want to become like a two-way type player or be a utility
like the first baseman as a lefty, that makes sense. So
yeah, absolutely. 850-215-6290. Looking for a winner for at which position did Dale Murphy make his Major League Baseball debut? The Braves update brought to you by the Break Room. The Braves got the W yesterday, 4-2, avoiding the sweep by the Athletics, which would have been only the second time this year that the A's completed a sweep, which one time was the Royals and the other time would have been, or actually I think that's only the second time this year that the A's have won a series.
That is correct. Only second series they have won. They have not swept.
Yeah, they haven't swept anyone. It was just a series win there. Kansas City Royals and the Atlanta Braves. What a group there. What a group to be mentioned with the Kansas City Royals, Oakland A's, and the
Greinke, baby.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, they do have Greinke, but I'm not surprised at all at the season that Kansas City's having to this point. Jared Schuster getting the win yesterday, so that is big for him. The Break Room, that's who brings you the Braves update. Their special today is, what is today?
Chicken
Thursday. It is hamburger steak. Wednesdays are chicken pot pie, which is why always I never can bring, chicken pot pie because I got to hurry up and get out there to Dave & Buster's. I have even less time now. Let's get over to the phone line. We've got Richard. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Tell me, at which position did Dale Murphy make his Major League Baseball debut?
Catcher.
Yes, sir. You're 100% right. He began his Major League career in 1976 with a 19-game stint catching with the Atlanta Bravos. Hey, Richard, do me a favor. Hang on the line. James is going to grab some info. You just won $25 to not the, but that boot store and a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff there. We do definitely appreciate the calls. We're getting close here to our hard out before we get to hour number 2. Chandler Permenter is going to be on the line with us. He's representing College Baseball Central. You can go follow them on Twitter, and they will keep you up to date with all things college baseball. And their sister or their partner Twitter as well is College Softball Central. So you can get the best of both worlds. In fact, a lot of the times when I'm scrolling through ESPN or The Score or The Athletic to find softball stuff, I'm like, forget it. I'm just going to Twitter, man. And it's wild how you can find pretty much anything on Twitter.
Yes, you can.
Things you don't even want to find on Twitter. Goodness gracious. Like, it's almost gotten to the point now where I don't even click on things that are trending because you never know what's going to come of those things. You know what I mean? It's somewhat kind of, it can be disgusting sometimes. But that's neither here nor there. Again, 850-215-60.
Now I'm curious what you're clicking on. Like, I don't.
Well, just don't click on the trending things. Just don't click on the trending things because anything can come up.
Let's go see what's trending.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff today. But anyways, we're going to take a quick time out and I'll push off here for just a couple more seconds. Brady telling Sports Illustrated that he's certain he will not play again. What is your confidence level in that certainty that Tom Brady said he's not playing again? I think it's 120% for me at this point.
I would, but it was as confident as I was that Michael Jordan would never play again. And then he did, and then he didn't, and then he did. And it's like, then, okay, so now you're part owner. Oh, and then you're going to play for them too? So now I'm like waiting for Tom Brady to be a Raider.
There you go.
Brady's done.
Brady's done.
We thought that about Michael Jordan, though, and then he buys the Wizards, and he's like, you know what, guys, I'll just do it myself.
I'll just do it myself.
Doesn't the NFL have a rule against owners playing?
He would have to. It would have to go to approval, and he would have to get 24 votes for that to happen.
Bet he does.
Yeah, and how many owners are going to say, "Yeah, I want the greatest ever to be"?
At least one.
And
right, at least him. Can you vote for yourself?
And beating me, that's great.
At least one. I would have. I believe that. What do you think Robert Kraft would do? That would be the most interesting to me.
He would absolutely.
What does Bob
say yes.
do? You think Bob would say yes?
He's a businessman. I'm going to say no because your business is winning football games, not making your former quarterback, rich and driving tickets towards him.
I don't think Tom Brady's got the GOAT skills he had back in the day. I think it'll be all right. He'll take a season off. Maybe he's going to try.
It's still going to take attention away, from New England. And
I don't even think he wants to, but he will stay in the headlines by saying he wants to.
He's going to be in the headlines regardless. He's involved with the Raiders now. He's going to be abroad. You're going to hear about him every single Sunday in 2024. You're going to hear about it every single Sunday this year because we were hearing about it last year while he was still playing.
And when you're not hearing about it, we're going to hear about Aaron Rodgers crying.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, we've got to get to a break. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. tough night for the starters of Miami last night as well. But if you do that same thing that you just did with the Celtics, and we look at the Heat, Kevin Love, I think that is safe to say, and I'm not like without Horford, right, veteran, but with Kevin Love, are we closer to has been? Yeah, still a wily vet, and you
4
know,
to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday evening. As we head into tonight, some clouds and a possibility of thunderstorms and a low of 70 with a light breeze out of the east-northeast at 6 miles per hour. For tomorrow morning, mostly sunshine and a temp near 82. In the afternoon and evening, mostly sunny and a high around 85. For Saturday, sunshine and a high of 84. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The road is yours this summer in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Stop by and check out the Bill Bird Kia SUV family that is built for all-in adventures and endless possibilities. Whether you're traveling on the highways or off-road, you'll do it with grace and grit. Now offering 3.25% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort and safety and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind that you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $22.22 per month per 1,000 finance at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 7/5/23.
Hometown Sports Talk from hometown hosts.
People are loving it.
We're live and local. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
Are you kidding me?
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. It's 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. I'm David Hayes along with Drew Gorman. We also have the Assistant General Manager, a professional as ever, Amanda Muller, and we've got James Fife with us on the ones and the twos. And now joining us, it is going to be Chandler Permenter. Chandler, how's everything been going, my friend?
Everything's good, David. How are you, man?
Man, it's been a while since we've last talked. Kind of with the new segment, the new ways that we run the show. We've only got 3 segments an hour, so it kind of really handcuffs us to what we can do. But Chandler, everyone, is he's a contributor for College Baseball Central, and he does a great job there. What's been so you're a big you went to Southern Miss, but you're a big fan of Ole Miss. Let's break that down before we get into the regionals and all of that good stuff. How are you? What was your thoughts on the season?
Well, Mississippi schools kind of have a curse. They kind of sell out for a national championship and then don't play baseball anymore after that. It kind of seems to be going the trend because you look at Mississippi State and they've missed the postseason twice in a row now after winning the national championship, and Ole Miss had a disaster of a season this year. So, wouldn't go back and change a thing about last season. You knew it was going to happen this way, but man, it hurts. It's rough to see your team be this bad after being that good.
Yeah. So does that have you pulling them for Southern Miss?
Oh yeah, I gotta pull for the home team. They're a really good ball club this year, and they lost a lot of pieces, and I didn't think they would be the team they are this year. So, and they kind of have a chip on their shoulder. They felt like they should host, and now traveling to Auburn, look for Southern Miss to make a splash this weekend.
All right. Well, let's start with a couple of questions that we have for you here, Chandler. And the first one is, what do you make of the SEC hosting 8 regionals for this tournament?
Well, it kind of feels like the same song, same dance. The SEC is always the best conference in baseball. You go back and look, and I don't know the exact number, but if you go back and look at the last decade of national champions, the majority of them are going to be SEC. I think if anybody but Vanderbilt wins this year, I want to say they'll make 4 in a row by 4 different schools in the SEC. I mean, it's incredible. The talent in the SEC and the fact that there's 10 different SEC teams in the tournament and 8 of them are hosting, that doesn't shock me at all. That's kind of just business as usual for the SEC.
And we're going to break down kind of each regional, but how many of those hosts do you think will move on?
I think if you have less than 6 of those hosts, I'd say I think 7 total move on. I think at least 6 of the hosts move on.
All right, let's go. Who's got the toughest regional out of all?
Well, there's a few that I really wouldn't want to be in. You got Clemson, who's got Tennessee with them. Tennessee's always got that chance to blow your bracket out there. They're a really good team. As much as your listeners aren't going to want to hear it, Gainesville's going to be really tough. UConn and Texas Tech both play really good ball. That's going to be a really fun first game there at UConn and Texas Tech. And then anybody who has to play Southern Miss or Campbell in those 2 regionals, I believe that's Stanford and Auburn, not Stanford, Campbell's in Columbia. Those 2 regionals will be tough. Both of those teams felt like they should have hosted. Campbell has a really good reason to be upset. I wouldn't want to be in either one of those regionals at all.
So on the flip side, is there like a regional that is the easiest?
Yeah, there's a few that, kind of feel like not gimmies. You're never going to have a gimme in baseball postseason. There's a few that really stand out. Coastal Carolina feels like they've got a really good path. Not that Duke and their other 2, UNC Wilmington and Rider aren't good teams, but Coastal's just playing really good ball, and then they kind of feel like they stand out in that one. And then there's one, Vanderbilt to me feels like a lock. Oregon's a really good ball club. Xavier's not a bad ball club. Eastern Illinois, they're there because they're an automatic bid. You feel like Vanderbilt's got a really good path to the postseason or to the Super Regionals this year as well.
Well, also going off of the automatic bid, and the only reason that they're there, me being an LSU fan, we have Tulane in our region, and they're a team that has won 19 games all year. So it's just crazy that they're even there in the first place. But to me, that I know Oregon State and Sam Houston are pretty good ball teams, but LSU's first game is going to be against Tulane, and they're not having to go far, but still, you've won 19 games all year. So LSU should be able to take care of business. What are your thoughts on Tulane getting in?
Tulane's really hot. I actually texted a buddy of mine whenever Tulane won their conference tournament and was like, how incredible is that? That last year, Ole Miss was the last team in. Obviously, that doesn't mean they have their worst team in, but they were the last team in last year. And I think they had, a dozen more wins or so than Tulane had this year. Tulane is a good ball club. They're not as bad as they look on paper. Obviously, they won a lot of games in a row to get to this point, and they're playing their best ball at the right time. That's kind of one of the things you got to do. Their 4 seed is going to be a lot of people's underdog favorite just because they're a good story. And LSU is a team that's kind of set up to lose a game like that. Not saying they will or that they should. They shouldn't. But when you only have one really, really dominant starter, if you don't throw skins, which I wouldn't think they would. Now I haven't looked to see, but you put yourself at risk at losing that game. I don't think they will. But Tulane's an interesting story nevertheless.
Let's move over to the Terry Hawk Regional with Indiana State and the Larry Bird Sycamores, the Wright State Raiders, Iowa, and North Carolina there. Tell me who you think is going to come out of the regional, and give me a player or players to watch there.
That one would be a really fun regional to watch if you are really, I don't want to use the word casual, but if you're not just a huge baseball fan, if you don't already have a fan base, just because there's going to be a lot of interesting storylines. There's a lot of schools that don't have super huge baseball followings. Indiana State kind of flew under the radar, at least for me and a lot of the media this year, and I think they're going to win that regional. I think that Iowa's no slouch. I think it'll be Indiana State, Iowa at the end of that. But I look for Indiana State to pull it out.
All right, good stuff. We had Wright State Chris who asked about that, and he actually is he went to Wright State, so he definitely wanted you to break that down for me. He actually was thinking that maybe there would be a little bit more smack talk there. Let's go to what regionals have we covered? I've heard LSU. Let's go over to how about Auburn? I mean, Auburn's sitting there. They've got Penn, Southern Miss, and Samford. Do you think Southern Miss can come out of that regional, or is it Auburn's to lose?
It's a talented regional. To me, and you'll hear this a lot in the postseason, Auburn kind of stole a bit there from a couple different places. Southern Miss definitely felt like they should have hosted. Campbell felt like they should have hosted. Campbell was the only team in the top 16 of the RPI not to host. Auburn's 19, Campbell I think like 15, something like that. So Campbell's going to have a chip on their shoulder, like I said. But, I mean, Southern Miss, like I said, they felt like everybody in the media told them, if you win your conference championship, you're going to host. And they didn't. So, they've got a lot to play for, and they're a really good ball club with both offense and defense on their side. And here recently, when they've had trouble in the postseason, it's usually been at home. And so you like to think that they go and travel in their coaches last season and play some really good ball. I mean, I think that Southern definitely can pull it out. Auburn's going to be the slight favorite, but don't be surprised if the Golden Eagles go in there and win that one.
Let's move on to Lexington then, where you've got the 12th seed Kentucky. They've got Ball State, West Virginia, and the Hoosiers of Indiana. Tell me who you think is going to come away with that regional, and some player or a player or some players to watch in that one.
Well, Kentucky's one of those programs that in any given day can be the best team on the field, but they've been really inconsistent this year. So to see them lose at home wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world. But if I had to pick a 3 seed right now to really to say was one of my favorite 3 seeds, that's the regional I'm probably looking for. They look really good right now. Does Indiana, and I mean for a 3 seed, that's the team I wouldn't want to see as a 3 seed in my bracket. Just like last year, being Ole Miss, it's the same way. So as far as a player or players, Kentucky's got a bunch of really good guys on the roster this year. Let me see. I'm trying to think if I had to pick one. Drew Lafferty on the mound has been really, really good this year, I want to say, and he's a freshman. The dude's, you watch him play, especially if he gets hot. I mean, he could go and pick up 3 or 4 really good innings and make the difference in 1 or maybe even 2 ball games this weekend.
Let's go over to Stillwater, which I find this one to be interesting, mostly because of last year, Dallas Baptist. I kind of, got put on to them, and I really enjoy watching them play baseball. So Stillwater, you got the 11th seed Oklahoma State, Oral Roberts, Dallas Baptist, and Washington. Who comes away with that regional? Who do you think comes away with that regional?
Well, at the beginning of this season, the Ball Span and College Baseball Central asked us all to pick one team that wasn't our team and kind of champion them for the season. That was Oklahoma State for me. Oklahoma State's a fun ball club to watch. They've got a brand new park there in Stillwater. It's a really cool program. But Oral Roberts as a 4 seed is terrifying. They're a really good ball club. Washington, they're not the best 3 seed in the tournament, but they're also not bad. And then Dallas Baptist is a great baseball school. They always are. They're always in the postseason. That's going to be, I don't know if it's, like I said, I didn't mention it's one of the hardest regionals this year, but it's definitely not one of the easiest. And any of the 4 teams there coming out and winning it wouldn't be the biggest shocker of the weekend for me.
Over to Conway, the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. They've got Rider, Duke, and UNC Wilmington. Is this Coastal Carolina's regional to lose?
Yeah, I absolutely think it is. I mean, Rider and Wilmington, they're both, not bad ball clubs. They definitely they're on the same playing field as Duke and Coastal Carolina. And Duke, while they have an opportunity to win this regional, I think Coastal Carolina just outclasses everybody here. I definitely think it's theirs to lose.
All right, let's move over to how about the number 1 seed overall? First off, are you surprised at all that the Wake Forest Demon Deacons are the number 1 seed overall?
I'm not, no. I mean, and Wake's hit the ball so well, and they've been so consistent. I mean, 10 losses on the year is incredible. They weren't number 1 very long, but they sat right there around the 135 spots and just kind of kept on chugging away. Didn't lose a lot of series. They may not have lost maybe 1 or 2 series. It's even that. They played great baseball this year. Hard to beat. Maryland's a really good team there. They did lose to the worst team in the SEC 3 times, something like that. So that's a little bit disconcerting. But they had some really good stretches throughout the year where they won a lot of games in a row. So it's not to say they won't, make a challenge there. But Wake Forest that's another one of those that's theirs to lose. They're a really good ball club, and they're set up to win that one.
So going back to the SEC tournament here, we had one of the craziest runs of a baseball team getting into the NCAA tournament with Texas A&M here. They are having to travel all the way out to Stanford. What do you give their odds, or do you think that Stanford's going to come away with this?
Texas A&M is a club that I expected from the beginning this year to be really good, and then they kind of didn't play bad baseball all year, but didn't get a lot of balls to go their way, and just kind of posted through the regular season, it felt like. And so it wasn't shocking to me when they started playing really good ball right here at the end. Getting paired up with Stanford is never something that you want to do, especially have to travel across the country to go play at Stanford. But it's not something that Texas A&M can't do. I think that aside from Stanford, they had a fairly good regional there. I mean, Cal State Fullerton, that's kind of a baseball school. They're good at baseball. And San Jose State's not bad either, but Texas A&M definitely has a chance to make it to that regional championship. But if I'm Texas A&M, I want to be the team that's undefeated going into that. I don't want to have to win twice.
Taking your Southern Miss fandom aside, what is your favorite regional and what's your must watch? If you could only watch one regional this weekend, who would it be?
For me, it's probably Baton Rouge, just because there's a lot of rivalries within CBC there. We've got a really diehard LSU fan. We've got a really diehard Oregon State fan, and then and I like the storyline of Tulane. I'm going to be pulling for that 4 seed there. So there's a lot of cool to watch out there, and I mean you can't miss Paul Skeens until he pitches tomorrow night or Saturday night. That's can't miss TV. That guy is incredible to watch. He's a lot of fun. He's really good at what he does. So I'm watching Baton Rouge, but I can only watch one.
If there's 3 players in this entire tournament that all eyes need to be on, or at least you keep track of them through this tournament, let's go with 3 players, and then we'll pivot over to 3 pitchers if you've got that.
Okay. This is kind of going to be 3 pitchers, because if it's me, I'm watching 3 pitchers, so we can do them both kind of at one time. I've got Paul Skeens. Like I just mentioned, Paul Skeens is a ton of fun to watch. He's dominant on the mound. And if you see a team hit Paul Skeens, that may be the team that wins the regional. I mean, it's that big a deal, because that dude's so good, and the team kind of piggybacks off his success. We talked about this guy earlier. Another guy we talked about earlier when we spoke a few months back at the beginning of the season, Jack Caglione. He's kind of the Shohei of college baseball. The dude's a beast at the plate, and he happens to throw gas. I mean, you do both of those things, you're going to get paid a lot of money here soon. At Florida, Jack Caglione is really, really good. And if you're, in the Gainesville area, I know a lot of people listening probably are. Get out to Gainesville and watch that guy pitch and watch the Gators play. It's a really fun ball club, and Jack Caglione's no different. And then Tanner Hall is a beast. He's going to play really good baseball this weekend. And I've had the pleasure of watching him play in person, and dude's really good. And I know that kind of is going to be a little bit biased, but at the same time, when he goes this weekend to Auburn, he's going to play some really good baseball for Southern Miss, and I expect him to do big things.
Let's take a look over at the Tuscaloosa Regional. 16 Alabama, Nichols, Boston College, and Troy. Can Alabama get past the 3 other squads here and move on to the Super Regional to take on more than likely Wake Forest? Or do you like Troy, a feisty team there? Who do you like out of that regional?
Alabama has the talent there. They're the best team in the regional, in my opinion. I think they should win it. But Boston College is a really good baseball team this year. And that's a 2 seed that I wouldn't want to have seen. They're really good at baseball, and not that Troy and Nichols aren't, but I expect that Alabama and Boston College somewhat cruise to that championship game. And I give Bama the slight edge in that one.
All right, good stuff there. And then the final question that I'll ask you, Chandler, again, you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We're on the line with contributor for College Baseball Central, Chandler Permenter. Who's your dark horse to give me your favorite to win it all, and then your dark horse to win it all?
My favorite's LSU. I mean, I think there really is some bad juju on the number 1 overall seed. That doesn't seem to be a place you want to be to win the whole thing. And if I had to take one dark horse right now, I don't think Arkansas could do it. Not that I don't think the club can do it. I just think Arkansas is like the number 1 seed. They just, for some reason, can't figure it out. You flash back to a few years ago, they dropped fly ball. I'm taking probably LSU and then Florida as the dark horse. I mean, they're not necessarily a dark horse. They are the number 2 seed, which is crazy that you would say that the number 5 seed has a better chance than number 2. But LSU was the number 1 team for, 90% of the weeks this year. If they're not a favorite to you, then you probably haven't been watching a lot of baseball. And Florida's kind of fallen under the radar. So it kind of feels like, bad on the opposites there, but kind of a yin and yang situation. But yeah, I think LSU's my favorite, and then not far behind is Florida, somewhat of a dark horse.
I love it. Great stuff, Chandler. Thanks so much for getting us some of your time, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Hey, man, thanks so much.
Yes, sir. That is Chandler Permenter, College Baseball Central. He's a contributor writer there, does all kind of stuff for College Baseball Central, and they're a great follow on Twitter. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for Mike Greenberg.
The story of this series is that the Celtics have the better players, but the Heat are the better team. Period. End of sentence. Someone has to answer for it. It's that simple. You want to say it's the Stars? Put it on them. You want to say it's the coach? Put it on him. But when you have the better players and don't have the better team, then you failed. It's that simple.
Greenies. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday evening. As we head into tonight, some clouds and a possibility of thunderstorms and a low of 70 with a light breeze out of the east-northeast at 6 miles per hour. For tomorrow morning, mostly sunshine and a temp near 82. In the afternoon and evening, mostly sunny and a high around 85. For Saturday, sunshine and a high of 84. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
If it's Western wear for the whole family you're looking for, there's only one place to shop. That Boot Store. The selections are huge and many of your favorite name brands at affordable prices are available. Want the finest in work clothes? Famous Carhartt work clothes are available too. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, and Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. till 5:30. Next to Kia 15th Street, Panama City. Remember what Joe always said, keep Jesus in your life every day.
Takes, the latest trades, in-depth interviews.
That is my reaction.
We break it down for you right here.
Very big springboard for the rest of my career.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
That's the problem right there.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we're back. Or do it however you're doing. We're back. You're right with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. We're the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes, along with Amanda Muller, Drew Gorman, and James Fife. Wright State Chris says he got his first college hit against Tulane. They played at the AAA field near the Saints training facility. Tulane was revamping their campus field. That's pretty cool, though.
You know the name of the AAA team that used to be there?
The Louisiana Crawfish.
The New Orleans Zephyrs.
Zephyrs.
The Zephyrs. That's
And
a cool
then-
one.
Did they have some hills behind the stadium? Zephyr Hills.
Yeah, that's the water.
Then they changed to the New Orleans Baby Cakes.
I still like Zephyrs better.
Yeah. I mean, I
Baby
get it.
Cakes is cute, though. Like if you were like a dance team for little girls.
Is that like a
Welcome to
king
Baby
cake
Cakes.
type deal? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the king cake.
Yeah, give me the Zephyrs. Or
Well, I mean, like it'd be
crawfish,
different if it was against
crawdads.
the Southport Gummy Bears versus the New Orleans Baby Cakes. That'd be cute.
There you go. You're going to need to bring a new name over there to the Southport Baseball
Baby
League because they've
Cakes.
got a
I think we should
litany of
have
great names
like
over
a little
there.
cheer team of tiny toddlers too. For cheering on the fire ants is the Baby Cakes.
Cheering on the fire ants. Oh my goodness, that would be a lot of
Feel the
fun.
merchandise.
I feel yeah, right. You could definitely make some merch with that. Y'all get out to Dave and Buster's. If you don't want to go to Gulf Coast Jam, go to Dave and Buster's and hang out there. You can jam out there, play a lot of games, see Amanda.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
It'll be a great time. I keep feeling like today's Friday, but it is only Thursday. And so I was going to say go see her tomorrow, Saturday. But are you going to be there Saturday?
I'll be there Saturday morning. Friday and Saturday morning I'll be there. I won't be there Sunday.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Jammers.
All right, sorry, Jammers. Let's get into our picks here for the 2023 Men's College World Series here. I do want to get to an update for the Women's College World Series. The only thing that I do know, Oklahoma and Stanford earlier were in a tie game in the third inning. Tennessee absolutely swept the floor rather, with against Alabama today, 10-5 in 7 innings there. So we'll get you an update here shortly on what's going on in the softball tournament. Let's get into our picks here for the 2023 regionals for the Men's College World Series. And first things first, let's go with the number one overall team. Wake Forest, George Mason, Maryland, Northeastern. Do we see any upset, or do we see an upset here, or do you like Wake Forest to win 3 and get in?
I think it's very cut and dry here right now. The next time around, that's where it gets a little more interesting for them. But I think Wake Forest does handle business.
I do think Wake Forest has this one. I'm not going to pretend to know a whole bunch about it, but you know what? I don't have to pick just off on logos. So either way, Wake Forest.
I have the logos over here if you want to see them. So you can you can just pick along with your logos there, and I'll make this easy for you. So she's still going with Wake. I'm going with Wake. That's a sweep for Wake. Or it's not a sweep yet. James?
I'll go with Wake. It's hard to be almost wire-to-wire number one, although that can also be bad. You might just be all burned out now and might just say, hey, what happened?
Tennessee was the number one overall seed last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but see, and this is what I almost wanted to bring it up with Chandler, but I just didn't. But because we were at the end of the break or end of that segment there, but Wake Forest doesn't seem to be that team like how Tennessee was, where it was over the top. Where didn't they have the fur coat? Was that them last year? They had the fur coat. Yeah, and they were just kind of loud and obnoxious and very.
I think they had less than like 10 losses and everything.
Yeah, I mean they were
just rolling.
They were, but then you get into this point, and everyone's rolling at this point. Even a 19-win team, Tulane, is rolling at this point to some extent. So we're sweeping out there with the number one seed, Wake Forest, moving on to face the winner of the Tuscaloosa Regional, which is Alabama, Nichols, Boston College, Troy. Chandler likes Boston College. He thinks Alabama's got the talent to get through, but Boston College could be a team to look for. We're going to let Amanda start for all of these now because she's going off of the logo. So tell me your favorite logo out of these four.
Troy.
All right. So Amanda's going with Troy. I'm going to roll with the tide here.
That was obvious.
Yeah, I know. Bad situation with Brad Bohannon and everything. But at the end of the day, the kids weren't trying to lose and the kids weren't betting. So it's almost the mainstream media won't paint it as this, but I'll say it's a feel good story for the kids. And I think it would be easier for me to say that if I wasn't an Alabama fan. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I'm going to go with Bama as well. I mean, they're playing their best ball right now. They are just absolutely balling out. It didn't really show against Florida, but they were right in that game, and then the next day they were able to take care of business after that. But it's just Bama's playing their best ball, and them getting to host right now is just unheard of after losing your coach midway through the season.
All right, let's go over to James. Who you like here?
I like Alabama as long as all of the players, coaches, and everybody around the team has gotten over all of the distractions. Because losing your coach this close, and especially not even just losing your coach because, the directors just said, yeah, we got to get rid of this guy. He's expired. You got a coach that could have implications of doing something, illegal across state lines. So if the players got everything focused, they should be good to go. If not, I can see Troy taking it as an upset in the state of Alabama.
Well, let's go to the state of Florida here in the Gainesville Regional. The number 2 overall seed, Florida's got Florida A&M, the Rattlers there, UConn, and Texas Tech. I'm going to go with the Shohei Ohtani of baseball. There's a couple of guys. I'm sure that there's a lot of guys, but doesn't Clemson have a guy on their team who's hitting bombs and throwing great pitches as well? I can't remember his name at this point in time, though. So I'm going with Florida in the Gainesville Regional.
I'm going to stick with Florida as well. They've looked dominant all throughout the SEC tournament. They had a little hiccup a couple games, but they're here to – there's a reason they're the number 2 seed.
And we were going to let Amanda lead off here, but she doesn't even got to look at the logos for this one. Who you riding with, Amanda?
Okay, but see, that's the thing. If I'm choosing off logos alone and I have to stay consistent, Florida A&M.
Okay, she's going with FAMU then, baby. I like that. That's a great pick. Make sure you write that down so that you can get credit for when you get that huge upset. James?
I like Florida. Dominant team. I would love to see A&M take it, though, see an HBCU move on.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool.
And you know that those uniforms are going to be absolutely...
Yeah, I have to stay consistent and just choose on logos, and I think I'm going to do well.
All right, here we go then. Let's move on to the Columbia Regional, South Carolina, Central Connecticut, Campbell, and North Carolina State. You go with your logo
South
pick first
Carolina.
here. South Carolina's got the best logo out of those. If I was picking off the logos, I'm either going with Central Connecticut or Campbell. However,
I thought about Campbell, but it speaks to me.
The Camels.
I'm rolling with the Camels, man. Well, what if they were the Campbell soups?
Oh my God, that'd be cute.
I'm rolling with the Camels here. It's a huge upset if they do it, but there's something about that baseball squad. They put something together. It's like a Dallas Baptist for me.
I think I'm going to stick with the SEC here and go with South Carolina. They've had their ups and downs throughout the whole season, but I think they're going to take care of business, especially being at home.
James?
I am going to go with North Carolina State. Good pitching school. So pitching this time of the year, very, very important.
Didn't Tommy Tanks was at North Carolina State last year and then went to LSU this year. So that is interesting. Let's move on to the next one. We've got the Coral Gables Regional now. Miami has got Maine, Texas, and Louisiana. Maine, Texas,
Maine's
and Louisiana.
got to go all the way down.
Yeah, the Coral Gables. They're probably enjoying that at this time of the year, though. It is going to be a little hot, though. What do you got, Amanda?
Based on logos.
Based on logo.
Louisiana.
Okay, the Ragin' Cajuns, man. I love it. What do you? For me, I'm going with Miami in this one.
I am going with Texas.
I like that.
How come horns?
I think I like Texas here. And you'll find out in a minute why I like them a little bit more than I normally would.
All right. Well, we'll find out in a minute. Drew says, James, tell me why or don't tell me why you like whoever you like here.
I'll take Texas.
All right.
Just because of the history that Texas has as being a very dominant baseball and just dominant sports school in general. Minus the past 5 years or so.
Let's move on to the Stanford Regional here. We've got Stanford, San Jose State, the Aggies of Texas A&M, and Cal State Fullerton. I'm going to ride with the Titans of Cal State here. Again, I think that the best team in this bracket is Stanford. The hottest team is Texas A&M, but the overall history with baseball, collegiate baseball, was Cal State Fullerton. So, who do you like, Amanda? Sorry that I.
No, you're good.
Jumped ahead of
Stanford,
you.
any logo with a tree, and I'm good. I'm going for the trees.
All right.
Let's go, trees.
And here's why I wanted to pick Texas in the last one as well, along with their rich history. I want to see a matchup of Texas versus Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah.
I think Texas A&M is going to be coming out of this region. I think they're riding that high, just like Alabama is, riding that high right now and just taking it. They're going to take that over to California and take it to Stanford.
You know what else has a really rich history? Trees.
They are. In fact, we wouldn't even be able to be doing this show without trees. No doubt, because of the paper, baby. James, who do you like here?
I'm going with Stanford, not because of the trees.
Oh,
Because of the
man.
trees.
But if you look at it, Texas, Stanford, that would be exciting. Those are two school programs that have, I do believe, if you look at it, the most championships of all NCAA schools out there. So
Now-
that'd be kind of interesting to see.
I know we've got a lot of, Stanford fans out there. All I'm saying is I'm pushing for someone to hook it up where the Stanford trees can get a Lorax mascot. Just give me a Lorax.
You don't like the tree mascot?
I do, but I mean, I think there should be like an additional tiny Lorax. He
Maybe
speaks
we
for
could
the
just,
trees.
We could just hang him like a Christmas
Trees
ornament
can't speak. A Lorax speaks for the trees.
I
The
don't know,
confused
what is
man
a
over
Lorax?
here
Tree has a mouth. It's
doesn't
gotta be able to
have.
speak.
I know, but he can't speak. The Lorax is a Dr. Seuss book. He is the guardian of the trees.
Okay. All right. Well,
Danny
we're learning.
DeVito did a really cute movie. Bears, marshmallows. Gotta see it.
Gotta see it. It just reminds you of s'mores. Where are we at here? Have you made your pick here? Or we're
He
on.
went against the trees. Rich history.
Okay,
Texas,
that's right. That was our last one. So we're on to the Conway Regional, Coastal Carolina, Rider, Duke, and UNC Wilmington. I'll let our logo picker go first.
Coastal Carolina.
And I will go with Coastal Carolina as well.
I am
I know what a
falling.
Lorax is.
I am falling in line with Coastal Carolina.
Yay.
All right, James,
Let's
are we
just go all the
sweeping?
way around. Coastal Carolina.
Sweep it. All right, let's go to Charlottesville here. Virginia is the host. We've got Army, East Carolina, and Oklahoma. I'm going with. We're gonna go with the
You
logo
wait
pick
your
first.
turn.
I'm sorry.
East Carolina.
And I'm actually going with ECU, not because of the logo, but because could you imagine a super regional between Coastal Carolina and East Carolina? That
With
would be
my logos,
ECU.
that's possible.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, no
I'm
doubt. I got
down
the
for it.
same. I got the
Yes.
same setup as you. What are you going with, Drew?
I'm going to stick with Virginia. I mean, you're the number 17. You got to take care of business no matter who's in your region. Go for it.
James?
Go Army.
Go Army. I like that. You can never go wrong with that pick. Let's go to Baton Rouge. We've got LSU, Tulane, Oregon State, and Sam Houston. Logo.
No, Tulane.
Oh, Tulane. That is a fantastic logo. I'm going with LSU.
Go Tigers.
LSU runs it.
All right, then. Moving on to Lexington, where we've got Kentucky, Ball State, West Virginia, and Indiana.
None of these logos are good. Ball State.
None of these logos are good. That's great stuff there.
They're all letters except for Ball State. So Ball State.
I think I'm going to go. I really would like to see Indiana here, but I'm going to go with Kentucky for a little all SEC. Yeah, all SEC Super Regional.
After last segment, I was really riding high on Kentucky. Before last segment, I was really riding high on Kentucky because I knew we were going to have to be doing these picks and all that. And then I heard Chandler Permenter talking really good about Indiana, and it's got me a little swaying, but I'm going to stick with Kentucky. I think they're going to be able to pull it out.
James?
Kentucky. As long as Kentucky's got great pitching. Great pitching school, has been over the past about 10 years. As long as the bats can keep going and producing a handful of runs, Kentucky's got it.
Let's go to Nashville. Let's see if we can knock a few of these out here before we get to the break. Nashville, Vanderbilt, Eastern Illinois, Oregon, and Xavier.
Just more letters. Eastern Illinois. Thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though. The V and the O and the Vox reminds me of like a plug-in you would have for for your
At
music
least
there.
Eastern Illinois gave me some sort of aminal.
So you're going with Aminal. You're going with Eastern Illinois. I'm going with Vandy.
You're really going to hate the Stillwater region, but let's go with Vandy as well.
Vanderbilt,
easy money. We're going to Stillwater here. Oklahoma State's the host. Oral Roberts, Dallas Baptist, and Washington. I'm just going to go with my squad here. Dallas Baptist. Let's go, Patriots.
Oklahoma State. This is just letters.
I'm followed. I love Dallas Baptist. I love the story. Winning 45 games this year. Like, you go.
Let's just throw in Washington. Just
All
to
right.
be different.
There you go. Just to be different. Let's go down to Auburn or go up wherever we're at. We're at Auburn now. We've got the 13th seed in Auburn. We've got Penn, Southern Miss, and Samford. Who's got the best logo?
Samford, the puppy.
All right, then. Man, I'm stuck between this one. I almost want to go with Southern Miss for Chandler here, but I'm going to roll with the Tigers. War Eagle, baby.
So not Penn?
No. Is Penn the Tigers?
I do believe so.
Funny, I can't remember what they are. I thought they were like the Quakers or something like that. Because, back in like the first time that I ever played NCAA, not the first time, but when, my career started getting really good in NCAA football, that was the first team that I was a quarterback for, was Penn. In a video game, but yeah. So, but I don't remember what they're.
You're right, Quakers.
Yeah, so there you go. Then, hey, look at there. I'm rolling with Auburn in this particular one.
Call back to a Key and Peele skit, University of Southern Mississippi.
Yeah, there you go. James, who you got in this one?
I'll take Auburn.
All right.
Y'all sleeping on them oof-oofs.
We're on them oof-oofs. Where'd the W?
That's what Kaiser calls dogs.
Okay.
Oof-oof.
Clemson. In Clemson, we've got Clemson, Lipscomb, Tennessee, and Charlotte.
More letters. Give me the paw print.
Give you the ball print. There's a side of me that wants to take Charlotte here, but I'm going to go with Clemson. I think Clemson and Tennessee are going to play a final game to whoever wins that game gets in there, if it plays out like that.
I love Lipscomb, but I think Tennessee's walking away with this one.
All righty then.
Sticking with where my mama went. Let's go Tennessee Vols.
There you go. Let's go to Terry Hawk. Indiana State is the host here. Wright State, Iowa, and North Carolina. I'm going to just go out on the limb and wait on.
Yeah, you are. Iowa. Go Hawkeyes.
That's the best logo out of those?
Yes,
really?
Wright State was very close, but Iowa.
All right. I'm going Wright State for Wright State, Chris, my friends.
I'm going Iowa State for the story. Give me Larry Bird, baby.
James.
Let's go Iowa.
All right.
Iowa.
There you go.
Birdie.
Last but not least, the Fayetteville Regional, number 3, Arkansas, Santa Clara, TCU, and Arizona. And the best logo is
the Razorback.
The Razorbacks. All right. I'm going to go with Arkansas on that one, too. But, man, wouldn't it be cool to see TCU just go all the way to the championship?
If they would have had a Orange Frog logo, it'd be great.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, I know. That is wild.
Is that what you said?
Lose 65-7.
That was
If you do that in baseball, good Lord.
They might suspend you for 2022 at that point.
You guys... Your team is no longer. Your team is no longer if you lose 65.
All right, you guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got one break left, and then we'll be right back. And we're going to start it off with a new promotion that we're going to be having here shortly. You guys are going to love it.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Afternoon Underdogs.
Tough night for the starters of Miami last night as well, but if you do that same thing that you just did with the Celtics, and we look at the Heat, Kevin Love, I think that is safe to say, and I'm not, like, without Horford, right, veteran, but with Kevin Love, are we closer to has-been? Still a wily vet, and
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday evening. As we head into tonight, some clouds and a possibility of thunderstorms and a low of 70 with a light breeze out of the east-northeast at 6 miles per hour. For tomorrow morning, mostly sunshine and a temp near 82. In the afternoon and evening, mostly sunny and a high around 85. For Saturday, sunshine and a high of 84. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
It moves fast. Let's go. The High School Spotlight. Weekdays at 5:40.
Let's do it.
Sponsored by Barbaritos. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Amanda Muller is gone. It's just now David Hayes, James Fife, Drew Gorman, and the Afternoon Underdogs. And this is ESPN Northwest Florida. You can hear us on the frequencies of 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 the Forgotten Coast, Port St. Joe. As always, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can give us a call or text at 850-215-6290, and you can get the app, which is a great way to take us with you wherever it is that you go. ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Blast at Bay Point. You could win a round of 18 at the legendary Bay Point Golf Club for the Nicholas course and beautiful PCB. Keep listening to ESPN Northwest Florida for more details. And if you weren't listening to the Inside Drive today from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., where they changed from the morning to the afternoon, they just ran a special where you could go spend $200 at the clubhouse. That could be clubs, that could be balls, it could be clothes, whatever that you would want. You spend $200, you get a free round of golf. They did so well with it, got so many people on the course, that they're going to be doing that again for Father's Day. So you could go get your dad a pair of socks and get him, you're going to have to get a lot of socks to get up to $200, but you can get him, a bunch of stuff, get yourself some stuff, whatever, and still get your dad a round, or get you and your dad a round. You know what I mean? Spend $400, get 2 rounds. It's like that's such a good deal, because I don't know exactly what the green fees are, but it's triple digits.
And you don't have to use it that day, right? You can use it whenever you want.
Yeah, you can use it whenever you want. I think they're going to be, I don't know exactly when the promotion starts. It's not going on right now, and Ryan Mulvey and the Inside Drive will let you know. And speaking of the Inside Drive, a great show, as well as the Coach James Hell Show. We've got 3 phenomenal local shows right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I mean, you heard it live on the air yesterday. We had a guy come in, win a prize from us. I asked him to 1 to 10, give the shows a ranking, and he ranked the Coach James Hell. This might need to be a promo, James. He ranked the Coach James Hell Show an 8, and he ranked us a 7 right there in front of our faces. And you gotta love the honesty, man.
Staring dead at you, too.
Yeah,
he was like,
hey, you talk too much baseball, bro.
Yeah, whenever you talk stuff that I don't want, I just turn it off. I'm like,
hey, at least you're keeping it real, man.
Okay.
No doubt. And you got the Coach James Hell Show. That's from 7 to 9 Monday through Friday. A fantastic show. Then you've got the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley from 11 to 1. And then you wrap up your afternoons right here with another local show, the Afternoon Underdogs. No Braves tonight because the Braves are off, but they do have the Diamondbacks coming to town. So we should, or actually, that's got to be West Coast, because the game on Saturday is a 9:10 start time, first pitch anyway. So I'm pretty sure that they are on the road for Arizona, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure now that I'm thinking about it. I know
they are in Arizona.
Yeah, they are in Arizona. So that is what it is, and I believe the Mets come to town after that for the Braves. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, because I'm sitting there doing the show today, or not doing the show, but, running the board for Ryan. He's talking about, the Braves, of what we have, the games for the Braves that are on this list. And I realized at that point, oh man, I got to get in there and update the schedule, because I had it scheduled from the beginning of May to the end of June. And now I realized we're in June, so I better get to work. So I had to get a lot of work done during the Inside Drive today. But just make sure that you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, because you can win some great stuff from ESPN Northwest Florida for Bay Point Golf Club, where Ryan Mulvey, the host of the Inside Drive, is the general manager. And then also, talk about getting your clubs fit with Golf Plus. Well, he mentioned when we were talking about the lessons, you can go to golfwithjay.com and you can get some lessons with Bay Point's very own Jay Henley. And that's a great way to get on top of your game. And then if your clubs are a little out of whack, then you take them up there to Golf Plus and you get everything set fit there. and you'll be ready to go. All right, this is your local high school sports spotlight, and it is brought to you by Barbaritos. Food community people, visit Barbaritos on 23rd Street and tell them that the Underdogs sent you. We've got the Mosley Passing Academy, and that is going to be not this Saturday. It's going to be June 6th for the first one, and it's going to be a passing academy for rising 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. We're looking for quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. Again, it's a passing academy, but you need running backs and wide receivers to get the quarterbacks to do what it is that they're supposed to do. June 16th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 29th. You also have 3 dates in July, the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th. The times are going to be from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Mosley practice field, and it's $20 a session. So the Mosley High School Summer Passing Academy, you guys get signed up for that, and Coach Tommy Joe Whidden will be working with your young quarterbacks, looking for rising 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. The Public Sports Park will start off its busy summer with the Ripken Select Tournament. This is from WMBB. The tournament in Panama City Beach is one of 17 locations around the country. They've got 54 teams competing in this year's event. The Ripken Select Tournament kicks off with a free clinic for the community on Saturday, June 3rd. So the beach is going to be popping this weekend. If you don't got to get out, ride a bike. Ride a bike and you might get places faster. But that is great for our area, for our community. Lots of bucks being spent around here, which is great for the future here in Panama City. Let's move on to, well, we did have an update about the SEC. So for 2024, Greg Sankey says that they're going to go divisionless. So there's no East and West, which is going to be interesting to see what happens with a Tennessee-Alabama rivalry. Alabama-Auburn is going to be the one that is protected. They're going to protect the Iron Bowl. But, man, I would hate to lose the third Saturday in October. I would hate to lose that.
That's almost sacrilege, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a long time running. Has it been running longer than the Iron Bowl? I don't know. I'm going to go look that up now.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to look up. I don't know if it's been running as long. And I know that, honestly, since about 2000, since Mount Cody made the block, I don't know exactly what year that is. I want to say 2007 or 2010, but when Mount Cody made that blocked the field goal, and the Tide won the game there, I think that was the last time before last year that the Tennessee and Alabama game was very competitive, or at least I can't remember many. So for youngins, that rivalry didn't have the same luster as like what it did for me when I was growing up and all of that good stuff. But now it's reignited, 52-49 in way of a Tennessee win last year. So, I cannot wait for that game this year. The third Saturday in October is a great rivalry, in my opinion, and James has got a little bit more info for us.
All right, so I found it. So for the third Saturday in October, the first game took place in 1901, and they have played 105 times. For the Iron Bowl, it is slightly older. It started in 1893, but it has only been played 87 times.
Wild. That is a wild statistic there. And James, thanks so much for looking it up. Now, Drew, you've got the face that you've got something that you want to say right here.
Well, I'm just reading the article that was on Bleacher Report where it had come through for me, talking about it. And along with eliminating the East and West divisions, which had been intact since 1992, it will also allow for the two best programs overall to square off in the SEC title game. Speaking of last season, Tennessee would have held the tiebreaker over LSU and Alabama for the number two in the conference. So they would have gone on to face Georgia in the SEC championship game instead of LSU last year. If they would have eliminated the East and West.
Oh yeah.
They would have been the top two. So Tennessee puts up a decent fight. Do they get thoughts of, even after the South Carolina loss?
Well, the thing is, though, is they wouldn't have had Hendon Hooker in that game anyway, so they had a better opportunity to get to the college football playoff than what LSU did. But all of that luster was gone, even though Joe Milton's a great quarterback, or filled in nicely for Hendon Hooker. But once Hendon Hooker went down, that was kind of the end. Plus, they lost to South Carolina as well. So you have 2 losses at that point. Then you get to the SEC championship. Your 3 losses. You're not kicking out TCU. Alabama still had a better chance, even though they had the head-to-head loss. And I liked how the committee did it. They did it right last year.
That's where Tennessee was kind of in the same boat as LSU, because we had lost that last game to A&M, and then going into the SEC championship game, the first quarter, I thought we had a shot. But then after that,
I think majority of teams might think they got a shot against Georgia in that first quarter, but then come that fourth quarter, that's when it really boils down. What do you got, James?
Did the article say how it would be picked? Is it based only off of strength of schedule and win-losses, or is there going to be a secret group of people that are going to meet in a room and go, you know what? It's these 2.
Yeah, I just saw the article whenever Chandler was on the line with it, so I really didn't have time to dig too deep into it. I don't know if Drew's got anything else over there. No. But you know how it goes. I mean, they're in the middle of those meetings right now down there in over there to the left, to the west in Miramar Beach. So that's pretty awesome. And we'll definitely get some clarification as we get closer. And again, this is nothing that's happening here for this year of 2023. This is all about the addition of Oklahoma and Texas, what the schedule is going to look like, how the divisions are going to be. A lot of people want to see those 4 pods, which I would be cool with. My thing is if I were a student, and not just a student, but even still, if I was a student, but if I was a football player in the SEC, by the time, if I played 4 years, I would like to play every single team in the SEC. And I want to see them figure out a way to make that happen. And it's going to be even tougher now with 2 additional teams.
So hopefully this does settle a little bit of it, talking about losing the third Saturday in October. Greg Sankey did come out and say, during this time of change, our fans will continue to enjoy traditional rivalries and begin to see new matchups presented by the addition of 2 historically successful programs to the SEC. So where he says our fans will continue to enjoy traditional rivalries, everyone's got that one team that you could look at, but I'm curious on exactly what he means.
To me, all I am hearing there is administrative speak of,
coach
hey, we're doing this. You're going to enjoy it. Have fun, everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. You got a little on this day prepared, or did I catch you off guard?
I do. Got it right.
We got you on guard. We only got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So 1917 Boston Braves first baseman Hank Godey is the first MLB player to enlist in services for World War I. He is also the only Major League Baseball player to fight in both World War I and World War II.
If you ask me, that's the Godey.
1925, Lou Gehrig pinch hits for Pee Wee Reese and begins his record of 2,130 consecutive games played. 1975, Nolan Ryan records his 4th no-hitter. It is also his 100th start. Let's see what else I got.
Every 25 starts, you have a no-hitter.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, that's
I'd
pretty
take that.
good. I can't even do that in a video game.
I'd retire at 100 games at that point. Be like, yep, I'm the greatest.
For real.
1982, Ricky Henderson steals 2 bases in a 3-2 win over the Red Sox to become the quickest player in Major League Baseball's history to reach 50 stolen bases in a season. Let's see other good ones. Oh, I like this one. 2007, Mississippi Braves manager Philip Wellman has his epic meltdown.
The grenade and everything, yes.
Everybody remembers that one. That is great.
That is pretty good, man. I don't know if it beats the guy who donkey kicks the catcher, but that was a wild one, man. Yeah, it was the Rosenbag that he tossed like a grenade.
Yep, over second base. He even took first base and left the field.
Yeah, it don't get much better than that. I wonder how much Bobby Cox he watched to get to that level.
The master. Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. We were taking a look at the ejections for Bobby Cox, and never mind. We don't got time. Coach James Hell Show is going to be live tomorrow, 7 a.m. Inside Drive, starting at 11 till 1, and then we'll be back tomorrow at 4 with a real fishing report at 4:20. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Go Tigers.
ESPN Northwest Florida is already your home for the most live and local sports talk. And now we're taking...
Oh, he got all of that one.
The Inside Drive.